This was a local shoot with a rescue organization called Mission House Ministry. Great guys that run it. They work in addiction recovery, and we were shooting an interview, one of 6, for their year-end banquet video. They're also going to use different parts later on in their catalog. First walking into the house, I had to decide where the camera was going to go. Wanted it to feel homey, but spacious with as much depth as possible. So I chose the kitchen as the background, with this window even further back in the background, kind of separate our character. Set up the camera on the opposite side of the room as far away as I could, pointed towards the kitchen, and then I turned on some accent lights. I was going to use those to justify my backlight. So there's my backlight, and here's my key. Now, one note with keys, I was recently on a shoot and I was operating as the sound guy. The DP asked where I'm going to put my boom. He had already set up his lighting. So I kind of looked at the space and I thought, well, if I put it over on this side, it's with the other light stands and it's kind of out of the way from the DP and the director. They won't have to trip on it or worry about it. Now, that was a mistake. The DP instantly looked at me like I was a crazy person, and he was patient with me, but he goes, "You're gonna put it on the key side? I don't think you should do that. You're gonna cast a shadow onto my character." I didn't even think about that, but he's totally right. Because if I have my key light coming in on camera right, and then I try to put a microphone over that side, I can get a massive shadow across my subject's face. But if I move the mic over to camera left, there's no shadow. Now, keeping that in mind, because my key light is on this side of the camera, I want to move my mic stand to the other side of the camera. Now, we got the mic set up, but I started hearing these funky reflections in the room. So I set up a blanket and moved it in as close as I could without bringing in too much negative fill. These are emotional interviews with lows, but they're redemption stories, so I don't want them to become too dark. In my frame, I tried to get the character's eyes as close to my left upper third as I could and have that bright window on the third on the right. That way it justifies my fill light and makes it feel more natural wrapping around camera right. Also, this soft wrap from one direction gives a dark shadow on the other side of his face, giving a little bit more dimensionality. I went ahead and put my backlight on the opposite side of my character as where my key light was, and it just gives a little bit of rim light onto my character's edge without filling up his shadows too much. You could almost feel like this light is coming from this light. Past that, it was just a good time. I really enjoyed this interview, and at the end of it we did some teleprompter work and then we called it a day. You know, like I said, this was one out of 6 interviews we did for this project, so we went to some spaces that I've never been to before and other places that I've used plenty. You know, thank you to Church Alive for always letting me use your space. You guys have been awesome. It really was a fun project at the end of the day, and every guy that I interviewed, I left feeling like I had found a long lost brother. You know, these are just great guys.